going on, everybody? Nick Costa here, and welcome to this video lesson on the 7-stroke roll. This is rudiment number 9 from the Percussive Arts Society's 40 Essential Drum Rudiments. If you have been following the Drum Essential series at nickcostamusic.com, this is video number 13. So in this video, you are going to learn how to play the 7-stroke roll. You are then going to play through a few exercises to allow you to incorporate it into your playing. Finally, you will see some examples on how to execute the 7-stroke roll as part of a groove or a fill here on the drum kit. I'm excited to get into this with all of you, so let's get started. Now, if you have been following that Drum Essential series at nickcostamusic.com, you've already watched the video on the 5-stroke roll, which means you already know in order to play a 5-stroke roll, you have 2 sets of doubles followed by a tap. Now, in order to convert a 5-stroke roll into a 7-stroke roll, you're going to add an additional double to it. So if you want to make this a right-handed 7-stroke roll, that means you have right, right, left, left, right, right, left-handed tap. If you want it to be a left-handed 7-stroke roll, you have left, left, right, right, left, left, right-handed tap. So for this very first exercise, you are going to play the 7-stroke roll in an 8th note subdivision. You are going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll for the first measure. You are going to rest for the second measure, play a left-handed 7-stroke roll for the third measure, and rest for the fourth measure. I'm going to turn the click on at 80 BPM. Play along with me. 1, 2, ready, and... Moving on to exercise number 2, you are now going to play the 7-stroke roll in a 16th note subdivision. That means the rhythm that you are playing is 1E enda, 2E end. Same concept here, right-handed 7-stroke roll for the first measure. You are then going to rest on beats 3 and 4 of that first measure. Then for the second measure, play a left-handed 7-stroke roll, again resting on beats 3 and 4. Now, although you are transitioning to a 16th note subdivision, try to add that accent to the last note of the roll. If you notice you're having a difficult time executing the roll with that accent, just focus on the sticking pattern for right now. Click's going back on. Play along with me. 1, 2, ready, and... Moving on to exercise number 3, you are now going to play the 7-stroke roll in the duration that it's written out as for the Percussive Arts Society. That means you are playing the 7-stroke roll in a dotted 8th note, 16th note pattern. That means starting on beat 1, you are going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll. That left-handed tap is on the of beat 1. You are then going to rest for beat 2 and play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 3. Again, that right-handed tap is the of beat 3. You will then rest on beat 4. For the second measure, you're doing the opposite. So a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 1, resting on 2, right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 3, and resting on beat 4. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, ready, and... Now for exercise number 4, you are going to play 4 7-stroke rolls in a row. For the first measure, they're all going to be right-handed 7-stroke rolls. You will then rest for the second measure and play all left-handed 7-stroke rolls for the third measure. You will then rest for the fourth measure as well. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, ready, and... So now that you've had a chance to play through a few exercises, this is a perfect time in the lesson to pause the video and really work on your 7-stroke rolls. Just like the 5-stroke roll, you want to make sure that your doubles are nice and open rather than crushed. So if needed, pause the video here, work on those 7-stroke rolls, slow down the tempo if you need to, make sure those doubles are nice and open, and really focus in on making sure you can get that last note accented. So go ahead and pause the video here, and once you're able to do that, hit continue. All right, welcome back. It is time to now incorporate the 7-stroke roll into your playing. So for exercise number 5, you are playing the rhythm of 1 E and a 2, a 3 E and a 4. Starting with your right hand, you are going to alternate for the 16th notes on beat 1. You are then going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 2. Starting with your right hand again, you're going to alternate for the 16th notes on beat 3 and a right-handed tap on beat 4. Second measure is the opposite. So starting with your left hand, you are going to alternate your hands for the 16th notes starting on beat 1. You will then play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 2. Again, starting with your left hand, you are going to alternate for the 16th notes on beat 3 and a left-handed tap on beat 4. I'm going to turn the click on, play along with me. 1, 2, ready, and. Now for exercise number 6, you are playing the rhythm of 1, a 2, a 3E and a 4E end. So for the first measure, you are going to play 2 right-handed 7-stroke rolls on beats 1 and 2. Starting with your right hand, you will then alternate your hands starting on beat 3. For the second measure, play 2 left-handed 7-stroke rolls. Then starting with your left hand, alternate back and forth starting on beat 3. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, ready, and. Now for exercise 7, you are going to go back and forth between a 16th note, 8th note pattern and a 7-stroke roll. Starting with your right hand, you are going to alternate for the 16th notes and 8th note on beat 1. You are then going to play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 2. Starting with your left hand, you are going to alternate for the 16th note, 8th note on beat 3. And then you're going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 4. For the second measure, you are reversing the rhythm. So you are playing 1, a 2E end, 3, a 4E end. You are going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 1. Starting with your right hand, you are going to alternate for the 16th notes and 8th note on beat 2. You are then going to play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 3. And starting with your left hand, you are going to alternate for the 16th notes and 8th note on beat 4. Going to turn the click back on, play along with me. 1, 2, ready, and. Now that you've had a chance to incorporate the 7-stroke roll into your playing, it is time for the challenge. Just like every other challenge in the Drum Essentials series, it's going to allow you to work on this rudiment as well as some other rudiments that were introduced in earlier videos. You are also going to have the opportunity to play a specific rhythm starting with both your right and your left hand. This challenge is 8 measures long. So for the first 2 measures, you are playing the rhythm of 1, a 2 and 3E and a 4 and. For the first measure, you're going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 1. You are then going to play a right-handed 5-stroke roll on beat 2. You're going to play a left-handed single paradiddle on beat 3 and another right-handed 5-stroke roll on beat 4. For the second measure, play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 1, followed by a left-handed 5-stroke roll on beat 2. Play a right-handed single paradiddle on beat 3 and another left-handed 5-stroke roll on beat 4. Here's what those 2 measures sound like together. 1, a 2 and 3E and a 4 and. 1, a 2 and 3E and a 4 and. For the third and the fourth measure, you are playing the rhythm of 1E and a 2E end, E end, E end. So for this third measure, play a right-handed paradiddle diddle starting on beat 1. You are then going to play a right-handed 7-stroke roll starting on the end of beat 2. Play another right-handed 7-stroke roll starting on the end of beat 3. You are then going to have an additional right-handed tap on the end of beat 4. For the fourth measure, play a left-handed paradiddle-diddle starting on beat 1. Then play a left-handed 7-stroke roll starting on the end of beat 2. Play another left-handed 7-stroke roll starting on the end of beat 3. And a left-handed tap on the end of beat 4. Here's what those two measures sound like together. 1 E and a 2 E and E and E and. 1 E and a 2 E and E and E and. Now measures 5 through 8, you are playing a 2-bar loop. The rhythm that you are playing is 1, a 2 E and a 3, a 4 E and a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 E and a. So for the fifth measure, play a right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 1. You are then going to play a right-handed single paradiddle on beat 2. Play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 3, and a left-handed single paradiddle on beat 4. For the sixth measure, you are going to play 3 right-handed 7-stroke rolls in a row, followed by a right-handed single paradiddle on beat 4. Now for measure 7, you are going to play a left-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 1, followed by a left-handed single paradiddle on beat 2. Play a right-handed 7-stroke roll on beat 3, followed by a right-handed single paradiddle on beat 4. For the eighth measure, you are going to play 3 left-handed 7-stroke rolls in a row, followed by a left-handed single paradiddle on beat 4. Here's what those 4 measures sound like together. 1, a 2 E and a 3, a 4 E and a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 E and a 1, a 2 E and a 3, a 4 E and a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 E and a. So now that you've had a chance to play through all of the different sections, it's time to piece it all together. But this is a challenge though, right? So let's up that metronome to 110 BPM and give it a shot. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and... Now, if for any reason during that challenge you felt like you were tensing up in your arms, wrist, hands, or fingers, it may have been a little bit too quick. Speed is not the end game with any of this. It's consistency and accuracy. And you want to make sure that you are staying nice and relaxed while you play. So if you felt any tension while you were trying to attempt that challenge, slow the metronome down. Play it at a tempo where you can continue to stay relaxed throughout the entire thing. Once you can do that a few times, then up the metronome only by 5 BPM. Try it again. Continue that process until you can get that metronome up to 110 or possibly even faster. But again, make sure that you are staying relaxed and make sure that your doubles are nice and open rather than crushed. So now that you've had a chance to play through a few exercises as well as the challenge, let's talk about how to incorporate the 7-stroke roll as part of a groove or a fill on the drum kit. This is the part of the lesson where you get to improve on your improvisational and musicianship skills. Just like the 5-stroke roll, think about a couple different patterns that you can play to incorporate the 7-stroke roll into either your groove or your drum fills. Now, although I want you to be creative and come up with your own, here are a few examples just to get you started. So to recap, in this lesson, you learned how to play the 7-stroke roll. Once you got comfortable playing it, you then played through a few exercises that allowed you to incorporate it into your playing. Finally, you saw some examples on how to execute it as part of a groove or a fill on the drum kit. As always, if you have any questions, reach out to me at nickcostamusic.com and I'll try and help out any way that I can. If you liked this video, make sure you do check out the Drum Essentials section at nickcostamusic.com, where you will see other lessons just like this on all 40 of the Percussive Art Society rudiments, as well as technique fundamentals and drum set fundamentals. And that is it. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hopefully you've learned something from it, and until next time, see you later.